on the moon for like 13 million years before that or something.
Right.
Yeah, something like that, you know. I can't hear myself with this thing on, so I'm gonna take it off. All right.
Just don't spit nobody's eye.
Good, comrade. All right, so like the comrade said, yeah, and you know what? Thank you, Mwami, because that was dope. I thought you were talking about somebody else. I didn't even realize you were talking about me. For real, I did not know that. But yeah, give it up for Mwami, our local InPDUM branch president. Mwami is dope, man. I'm telling y'all. He pushed me to do something once I got into the movie. He was like, comrade, we gotta find a spot for you. And I think I know where it is, but let me run it by prayers first, so. But yeah, so I'm Kuante, Tubaba, Africa, and there's a quote by Steve Biko that I always like to use, and it's a powerful quote. And the quote is, "The strongest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed." And that goes for everybody, because everybody out here is oppressed. Yes or no? Yes? Yeah, exactly. We're oppressed. We all live in this colonial system. And everyone out here, we go through, the loss of jobs and, struggling with paying rent and food and all these things. Well, I want to talk about 4 reasons that we charge genocide against the colonial system or the capitalist system or the imperialistic system. It has many names. And then I'm going to talk about reparations. So, okay, number 1, here's one reason. Number 1, the African Holocaust against African people was the most brutal of occurrences of crimes against humanity and genocide. One of them, not the biggest one, but one of them. Crimes against humanity and genocide. The number of Africans who were killed, conservative estimates by the United Nations put at about 200 million, but it just depends on who you talk to, because actually really no one really knows.
Right.
Because they didn't keep record of how many Africans they captured.
Right.
Say it.
Number 2 is the period of time. And in 1441, Portuguese captains captured 12 Africans and took them to Cabo Branco, I hope I'm saying that right, Portugal as slaves. Cabo Branco, I'm sorry. That was about 579 years ago. And we're still, right now today, under that same colonial influence that Portuguese started. Number 3 is the psychological, social, spiritual, physical, and mental impact that it did to African people. And finally, number 4, the intergenerational impact that it has had from people who were enslaved, which were carried or passed on to their subsequent generations. They murdered people legally right here in this very land, right here where we're standing on right now. They legally murdered folks. And then I came across something a few days ago. It's called the Casual Killing Act of 1669, Virginia. And what that was basically a slave owner or someone under the slave owner, who like an overseer or something like that, if they were punishing a slave, they could legally kill that slave if it was, proved that, it didn't even have to be proved. It was just saying, oh, I'm disciplining my slave, and he just happened to die while I whipped him 200 times. And that was legally justified. Because, as you know, slaves were property. That's what they were. They weren't considered humans or anything like that. It was just property. So, and for that reason, let me put this down. For that reason, we are due reparations. So I'm gonna just give you a little history on the African People's Socialist Party fight for reparations. It's been going on for about 40 years. So, and this is the part I love, because I love talking about Chairman Omali Yeshitela. Uhuru. So in November of 1982, the African People's Socialist Party, APSP, organized the first tribunal, and a lot of people don't know this, that 1982 was the year that the party held the first reparations tribunal in New York City, and it launched a worldwide reparations movement. The party formed the African National Reparations Organization, or it was also known as ANRO, and held reparations tribunals throughout the United States for 12 years. Now, and it was, considered you know, the party proclaimed reparations now an idea that time has come. It was long overdue then, it's long overdue now. So, you know, turning the reparations demand into a reality by taking it out of the straitjacket of the purely legal and legislative approaches and making it a household word. So as Chairman Omali Yeshitaro stated in July 1982 Burning Spirit newspaper, he said, "We can target U.S. imperialism in a way which will spread the struggle of the peoples of the world to the very center of imperialism itself. The World Tribunal will offer the peoples of the world an opportunity to strike back at U.S. imperialism from within, to contribute to the development of revolutionary process within the U.S. which would be capable of eradicating the scourge of the U.S. imperialism from the face of the earth." That's powerful. So, and then, you know, the reparations demand is in the party's working platform, point 11, and it states, "We want the U.S. and the international European ruling class and the states to repay Africa and African people for centuries of genocide, oppression, and enslavement of our people.
Yes.
We believe that the U.S. and European civilization were born from and are presently maintained by the horrendous theft of human and material resources from Africa and its people. We believe that this theft is responsible for the present underdevelopment of Africa and her people and the political servitude, material impoverishment, and cultural discontinuity and disinterrogation of the African people throughout the world.
Tell it.
We believe that we are owed reparations for everything that we suffer from and everything that has been taken from us.
Yes.
That goes for the working class people of the whole world, pretty much, when you think about it. Because capitalists, what they have done, they have built their wealth off our backs, our blood, our sweat, and our tears, while we struggle to feed our kids, clothe our kids. Shit, their kids got money for the next 10 generations.
Right.
They don't give a shit about us. They just want us to go punch that clock. That's it. So we demand reparations. It's owed to us. This country was built off the backs of enslaved indigenous people and enslaved Africans. And we want our shit. It's our reparations, and we want it now. When I say it's our reparations, you say we want it now. It's our reparations.
We want it now.
It's our reparations.
We want it now.
A hooroo. Is my time up, comrade?
You can it's your world.
Well, I know, you know, I don't want to step on my some other toes, you know. All right, so the party mandated the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, also known as InPDUM, with the task of continuing to demand reparations from the U.S. and all European colonizers, and to help the African working class understand that reparations are owed to them. Reparations is a revolutionary demand and can only be made by the African working class. The demand for reparations must transform the African community and therefore can only be defined by the African working class. I'm sorry, I got a little tongue tied. So, you know, for me, this campaign, the reparations campaign, is, you know, it has a deep significance for me and African people as well. And as a whole, it can help resolve some of the problems that stand in the way of African unity. We believe that Africa and African people are due reparations as well as economic compensation and trillions of dollars which must be paid to the African working class. This campaign is also the force to usher in a social movement that will lead our communities to transition to the revolutionary politics instead of accepting the reformist promises fed to us by the ruling class and neo-colonial politicians. The reparation certificate is a process to collect a debt owed and rooted in self-determination to the African working class. The goal of the Reparations Certificate Subcommittee is to make sure all Africans around the world sign the certificate and demand their reparations. They say cut back, we say pay back. Uhuru. So I didn't bring any with me today, but there are reparations certificates or claims that can be signed. If you go to InPDUM's Facebook page, I mean, you can be pointed in the right direction. But I want to thank everybody for giving me their time, and I appreciate it. Uhuru.
Uhuru. This time I was trying to be extra stealthy, but I gotta take time out to introduce
You like
this
it? Did it
comrade.
motivate you? Did you want to sign a
In
Reparations
San
certificate?
Diego, some of y'all, I don't know, some of y'all know, some of y'all don't, but there was like years and years and years that, you know, InPDUM was
That's
built
good,
up,
that's
fell
good. I'll
apart,
take
built
this
up,
one.
fell apart, built up.